So the first semi-final might not be as predictable as we think. I think there are a few that could really surprise us. And I actually think a couple of fan favorites might miss out. So I'll place them into these 5 groups, but by the end of it, I'll give my clear stance if they'll qualify or not. First, let's get into the safe qualifiers. And here, I first just want to put Israel to the side. I won't be discussing it because of everything going on. So that leaves 14 countries competing for 9 spots in the grand final. And when it comes to the short qualifiers, for me, it would take like a seismic Eurovision earthquake for them not to qualify. So they're absolutely safe. And the first one is Finland. Super high quality, beautiful melody, really memorable, with a climax that takes you to the moon. Like, this is the bookies' favorite, fan favorites. It has great jury appeal, televote appeal. Could it be too perfect to get through? Nah, I don't think so. And the second safe one is Greece. Super memorable, catchy, fun, really charming, has a touching vocal jury moment. The only thing is, if the televote gets 2 splits, there's quite a lot of competition in the semi-final. Honestly, I don't think so. This gets through on televote alone, and it will definitely reap some jury scores as well. And my third safe qualifier might surprise you. It is Serbia. Very impactful, great running order, got friends in the semi. This is definitely getting through. Only risk is it is quite divisive, but it has completely its own lane and some super die-hard fans. So this is definitely getting through. And then over to the next category, because I don't think all the favorites are safe. These should qualify, but I'm not 100% sure. And my first likely qualifier is Moldova. Like, very memorable, in your face, super televote bait, starts the whole party. The only thing is, if the message comes across as too nationalistic, but I think the joy of this just carries it. So I'd be really surprised if this doesn't get through. I wouldn't mind it because it's not one of my favorites. And then my second likely qualifier is Croatia. Very unique, vocally super strong, very atmospheric, with a strong cultural identity. Its main risk is that it might get lost in its running order. Like, it's got a 3rd spot and it's amongst big loud entries like Greece, Moldova, Sweden, but I still have this as a very likely. And my last likely qualifier is Sweden. Yeah, some people might have this higher up because it is like super polished, catchy as hell, with a very impactful staging. But the risk I see is if they overthink the staging, this might do a Pirelli from 2008 and become quite stale and lose its impact. And remember, both Sweden and Girly Bops tend to be overestimated in how well they do compared to the final results. I'm a little bit scared for this one, but I pray to the Eurovision gods that this gets through. Yeah, so I'd still expect all these 3 to get through, but I think we might have a shock non-qualifier here, but I'll talk more about that at the end. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. So I'm gonna start with eliminating the ones that are out. And the first one, San Marino. The song just isn't there. It doesn't have any natural friends. No fan hype. I just don't see that there's a path for this. Like, I don't even have a caveat on this one. I'm sorry. And my second non-qualifier is Estonia. Yeah, the song just isn't there. Sings about too epic to be true, and it's just so underwhelming. Feels very dated. I was kind of hoping for more from Vanilla Ninja. Only caveat is they do have a substantial fan base across Europe, so could this shock qualify? I don't think so. And my last non-qualifier, I've just recently changed my mind on, and it is Belgium. It's kind of cool, but it also feels pretty flat and repetitive. And when you sing about dancing, you kind of have to move to make it come alive, and she's not a natural, and when she does, the vocals really suffer. So I don't even see how there's a chance that the juries will put this through anymore. Sorry, Queen. Not royal. Now we get into the real juicy part, and here I think it's where people might really disagree. We got 5 countries and only 3 slots. And the first country I'm gonna put through is high quality, very genuine, stands out in this lineup. It's Portugal. Like, I personally wouldn't choose to put this through. I think this is such a snooze fest. So I think that's the risk. Like, if people think this is just too subtle, but usually Portugal finds a way, so I think this will sneak through and we'll see them in the final. And now over to a country I think possibly won't get through. It's a fun, dramatic, catchy, ethnobop. Yeah, it's Georgia, which I think is such a shame because this is so underrated, but I'm just not sure where the points will come from when it doesn't really have any natural friends and it's being overshadowed by being followed by Finland. So for me, against my wishes, this misses out. And now this is where it gets risky. 3 countries, 2 spots left. And the first one I'm gonna put through is very unique, artistic, kind of bombastic, with a really cool staging. It's Lithuania, which also has a great running order, and I think this definitely stands out. The only risk is if people perceive it as too niche, but I think this should qualify, and I think in the final it might even surprise us. So the last one I'm putting through is totally underrated, high quality, delivered by a star. It's Poland, plus diaspora and a late running order. Even if the song divides people, I do think this gets through. So that means that fan favorite Montenegro sadly is out. I really like this one. It's a great package with nice Balkan vibes, but I'm just not sure if it's accessible and catchy enough, especially among other strong entries both from Balkan and girly bops. So I think it's sadly another miss for Montenegro. So these are my 9 qualifiers. Finland, Greece, Serbia, Moldova, Croatia, Sweden, Poland, Lithuania, and Portugal. And I think the surprises here are probably Portugal and Poland. And I think there might be room for more surprises. Maybe we see a likely qualifier shock non-Q. I would hate it, but I think there's a risk that maybe Croatia or Sweden misses out. But what do you think? Who do you think gets through? And where am I completely wrong? Please let me know in the comments. I'll be doing a prediction video for semi-final 2 this week, so subscribe if you want to stay tuned. And I hope to see you in another video soon. Bye!